Am I keeping or returning this Brother Skitch embroidery machine? Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about making sewing fun and approachable, and I'm here about a week in with the Brother Skitch. This is Brother's latest entry-level embroidery machine. It does look like a coffee maker. It's very different in design than their other embroidery machines, and that is one of the reasons I was interested in trying it out. I've already put out a few videos about this. I did a quick sort of overview on the machine and my first impressions, and I did another video talking about the Artspira Plus upgrade, which is the paid subscription. And this machine does require the Artspira app in order to operate. So that's something you should definitely know. Now that I've had the machine for a bit over a week, again, not enough time to really evaluate everything and do a ton of testing, but I have been able to stitch out quite a few samples on different materials, different types of projects. I do have some definite opinions so far, but again, I don't think I've owned this product long enough in order to really make an in-depth decision on it or recommendation or have any real concrete opinions yet. But there are things I like about it. There are things I certainly don't like about it. I think right now my consensus though is that the Brother Artspira app is total crap. I just do not like it. I don't think the value for the money is there, especially since the paid version is $12.99 per month, and we are going to talk about it. I got a lot of comments after I was posting some of my frustrations with the Skitch. People were saying, you should just return it, get your money back. Why are you keeping this? And I want to talk about that because there's a little bit more to it because I'm a YouTube content creator and I want to kind of walk you through my thought process on products I buy for the channel, things I'm featuring, and kind of how the financial aspect works. So if that's something you're interested in, this is the video. I do want to warn you, this is going to be a chatty video. So if that's not your thing, I totally understand. But a lot of you were telling me I should return the machine, and I'm here to tell you why I am not returning it and I am keeping this Skitch. Yes, I'm keeping this machine. I know. There's a lot I don't like about it, and there's definitely a lot of complaints I have about the Artspira Plus app. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Now, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I like to review products. I like to talk about sewing machines, embroidery machines, different types of sewing notions, and give you my honest opinion. And I think that's one of the things I've become known for here in the influencer space, and it's something that I'm actually very proud of. I really enjoy giving you my authentic, real talk, and not really mincing words, if that makes sense. I can be somewhat critical, but I also really try to be fair when I'm talking about brands, products, my experiences. As kind of an average everyday user, I'm certainly not a sewing or embroidery expert by any means, but I think that's why a lot of you resonate with this type of content, is because I'm just a regular person and I'm not like a sewing expert or a sewing teacher. And a lot of you have said that's very relatable, and I think that's super cool. A lot of you had some really funny and kind of interesting comments after seeing the first few videos I put out on the Skitch. Now, this was a fairly expensive purchase. Despite me being a content creator, I actually was really interested in the Brother Skitch when I first saw it. I thought the design was really interesting. I loved that it had the free arm, because I was like, this could make smaller or more difficult items a lot easier to embroider. The hoop is pretty small, it's 4x4, but I love the magnetic hoop. That's actually one of the top things I like about this product so far, is that this has the magnetic hoop. I have a Brother PE 800 and a PE 900, and it has the standard traditional, just tighten the hoops. And I find this, I'm able to hoop items a lot faster in order to get them under the machine. It's definitely been a time saver. Now, some of you have pointed out that Brother does make magnetic hoops for other machines, and I looked them up, and here's the thing. They were very expensive, and they were not the same style. What I like about this magnetic hoop is that it's two pieces. It's just the top and the bottom, and it just snaps together. The hold is decent. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I did have some struggles when I was hooping thicker items like this fleece, but the other hoops that they make for the Brother PE 800 and 900, instead of it being one piece, it was it was 6 different magnets, and you'd have to put them all in one by one. And I actually think that would make it pretty difficult to get your fabric or material lined up in the bottom piece. So I actually was not interested at all in that product because it didn't have one piece for the top. So I appreciate everyone who was like, yeah, they do actually make one, but I just checked it out. I'm not interested I really wish Brother would make this style of magnetic hoop for their other embroidery machines. Like if I had a free arm and this type of magnetic hoop 5x7 for the Brother PE 900, I wouldn't really need anything else. Like I would be totally cool. So that's the thing, like there's not one perfect embroidery machine. Like some of them have this feature that you like, then others have other things you like about them. I do wish this was not operated solely on the Artspira app, and I wish this had a USB slot. I think that would make it a lot more of a sell, in my opinion. Like if it had onboard functions and you didn't need the app to run it, I would have a lot more glowing things to say about this product at this point. Now, I was able to embroider different materials. That's good. I kept running into the issue though is that this thread pin at the top, the thread kept getting tangled around the end here, and then it would cause a jam down below here, and then it would cause the bobbin case to constantly jump out of place, and it would just totally mess up what I was doing. So I was like, I ran into that problem over and over, and I was starting to get really kind of upset about it. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But I kind of found a workaround that made things a lot better, and that is getting a thread stand. So if this is an item you're considering, I would highly recommend, if you don't already have a thread stand, get a thread stand. When I use the thread stand for my thread instead of this spool pin holder up at the top, I ran into that problem a lot less. It still happened like once or twice, but it was a lot better and I didn't have those issues. Like, yeah, it was really bad. Like it would leave like a huge rat's nest on the underside. It was like really, it kept interrupting the project, and it was just, and I kept having to like reposition the bobbin case. And that was like, oh my gosh. That's one issue I ran into with the machine itself. The other thing I will say is that if you do have like technical issues or like errors with the machine, it is a little bit tricky because like the app will tell you that there's a problem, but it's kind of hard to like control the machine from the app when you run into problems. So that's another thing I would say just after using it for several days in a row. Again, I'm not an expert. I've had this for a few days, but I do think I need to do more testing with it and more experience so that I can really come up with a very well-rounded kind of review, more content as a long-term user and not just someone that uses it for a week or so and then you never see this thing again. I hate to say it, but brother, you really, really need to improve the Artspira app. I am not a fan of it at all. And the fact that it's required in order to run this Brother Skitch embroidery machine drives me crazy. All of the features I would say they're not great. Like I'm not impressed at all. Nothing to write home about. All of the designs, whether they be free or the paywalled designs, are, I would say, not widely appealing. They're very taste specific, and I've looked through a lot of the designs and I have a really hard time finding any that I would say I like. They don't have very many fonts. I think there should be more free fonts and more paid fonts. There's 10 free fonts and then 20 behind the paywall. That's not very many, and out of all of the fonts, I would say there were maybe 2 or 3 that I was like, okay, but they were not free. If this was all a free app, I would give Brother more of a pass, but the fact that this company is charging $12.99 per month in order to use this crappy app, I just find really, really irritating. And a lot of you are also like, yeah, I'm not into this. So if you are curious about the Artspira app, download it for yourself and you can see what it's all about. I haven't tried out every single feature, but I've tried out a lot of the features. The image to embroidery feature, which is behind the paywall, very kind of low quality. You can't do any images that are even remotely complex in design or colors. It's not great. And after talking to embroidery digitizing expert Erich Campbell, which by the way, I have an interview with him here on the channel from a while back. If you are at all interested in creating your own embroidery designs or doing any type of embroidery business, you really need to watch that interview because you will learn a lot about the process. He has a ton of experience and he's a wealth of knowledge. So definitely watch that. But I would say Erich probably would not be, can't speak for him, but I don't think he would be very impressed by the auto digitizing image to embroidery thing. I tried out the drawing tool in a previous video, the free version. So it will work with the free version of Artspira, but it's super limited. You can only do one color. So you could do like stick figures or something, or like, like some handwriting. But if you want to do any sort of real designing, that feature is mainly behind the paywall. The feature of you being able to import your own external embroidery designs and get them into the machine is also a pay-only feature. I think this should be free because you really can't do much with the Brother Skitch if you don't pay the $12.99 a month. And here's something I've noticed too, is that Brother seems to be doing some damage control on social media and trying to like combat some of the negativity I've seen about the product in the Artspira app. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. They posted some Instagram stories where people were asking questions and then Brother was answering. And a couple of the questions were like, why do you need a subscription in order to use the machine? And their answer was, you don't need a subscription in order to use the machine. The Artspira app is free. No, technically that is true. But as I mentioned before, the free version of Artspira is basically useless. You can do like some designs, but they're all like the free designs are really not awesome, I would say. I'm not trying to be overly critical, but the free designs were kind of comically bad. It's like they took designs from the 1990s and just threw them in there. There's nothing up to date. There's nothing cute. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, so if you do not pay for the Artspira Plus subscription, all you can do with the machine is use the free designs, the free fonts. There are only 10. You can do the drawing tool, but only with one color. And that's like basically it. You can't do image to embroidery. You can't get any other type of design into the machine. While technically, yes, the Artspira app is free, if you really want to do anything with the app, the vast majority of the features are behind the paywall. So if I could say anything to Brother, it would be, you can do one of a few options. If you made the entire app just free, no paywall, I would be a lot more forgiving about a lot of these critiques. You lower the price significantly. Instead of like $12.99 a month, it's like $2.99 a month. I think a lot more people would be okay with that. Again, a lot of people in general do not like the idea of tying a physical product to a subscription anything. So you're still probably going to have a lot of resistance, consumer resistance to people picking up this product just for that reason. The fact that it does not have onboard controls and a USB slot, people are like, yeah, I don't like. Right to repair is a pretty big consumer issue, and a lot of folks have a problem with a company controlling how you use a product because essentially you're just like renting the product, you don't really own it. So I think the fact that Brother is telling people that the app is free, but also not giving them the entire picture, comes across a little sketchy and dishonest. Another thing I saw them say is someone was asking if they needed Wi-Fi to operate the machine, and Brother said, no, the Skitch connects with the Artspira app via Bluetooth, so you don't need Wi-Fi. That's not really a good answer. So here's the thing. While technically, yes, the Skitch does connect to your phone or iPad via the Artspira app via Bluetooth, which does not require Wi-Fi or a cell phone signal. In order to run the app itself, you're gonna need to have either Wi-Fi or a cell phone signal. So again, a little sketchy to say, no, it does not require wireless internet, when in fact, it really does, because if you can't run the app, you can't use the machine. And to be on the app on your phone or your iPad requires either Wi-Fi to operate the phone and to connect to the app, or a cell phone signal, so like cell service. So I don't know, I thought that answer was also like, I was like, WTF, Brother. So I feel like they're trying to combat some of the backlash that people have had about this product. I don't know, I just think there could be a lot more transparency in the marketing and in the communications of what they are telling consumers about this product and about the Artspira Plus app. I did get a couple questions on TikTok asking about stitching out like letters, fonts, that sort of thing. And as I mentioned, the whole entire Artspira app currently only has a total of 30 fonts. So that's like if you want to go into the app and like type something out like a name or like a saying, like do custom text, you have 30 fonts total to choose from, and that's only if you pay for Artspira Plus. Now, I only found like 2 or 3 of them to be like something I would use. And I was thinking about like how you would do custom text if you wanted to do other types of fonts, and it would actually be kind of a pain in the butt to do. So let me explain. If you want to do another custom text, like if you want, if you customize like baby onesies or something, or blankets, or you do like monograms or something like that, which by the way, I feel like the Artspira app should have some like custom monogram options or something like that. That actually would be a good improvement to do. But if you wanted to do another font that was not in the app itself, you would either need to buy it from somebody, like there are some shops on Etsy or different websites where you can buy like sayings or stuff like that. You could hire a digitizer to do it. Or like I have another embroidery software. So if I want to do custom text that is from a font not in the app, I would actually have to go into a different embroidery software, create it there. Like I use Embrilliance Essentials, link down below in the description box. It is a really nice user-friendly software, and it's not subscription-based, so you just buy it standalone. I am an affiliate, but I did pay for my copy, and I was a customer long before I was affiliate. I have some tutorials from back in the day if you want to check those out on how to create your own text and everything, and also how to purchase embroidery fonts. But if you want to do that and get it into the Skitch, you have to have like a program like Embrilliance, create your design there, or your text or whatever, export that as a file, and then import it as a file into Artspira Plus, which you have to pay for. So again, I think Brother could be a lot more upfront about the fact that you really do need to pay for Artspira Plus if you want to really do like anything with this machine. So if you do not pay for Artspira Plus, all you can do is whatever free designs happen to be in the app, which you have no control over, you can create some custom text with 10 fonts, and you can use the drawing tool with one color. So that's pretty much it. It's super limited. If you don't purchase Artspira Plus, your use of the Brother Skitch PP1 embroidery machine is going to be extremely limited. And that's what I think Brother is really not saying to people. And I think a lot of us kind of see through that, but I get it. Like their company, they want to make money and all that stuff. But I'm seeing people start to get kind of annoyed with like the canned answers and the like kind of evasive information they're giving out that's like not really the entire picture. Obviously, this is not a sponsored video, and I did purchase the Brother Skitch myself. And I want to go into that a little bit because people are confused as to why I'm keeping it, I'm not returning it, and they're like, why don't you just return it and get your money back and all that, and you just wasted your money. So I want to kind of share with you just some insight as a content creator in the sewing niche. Now, I've had this channel for about seven years. I cannot believe it. Over the years, I started out featuring a lot of stuff that I already owned, like the sewing machines I had, and I had gotten into sewing a little bit before starting the channel. And if you're not familiar and you don't really know who I am, in my previous life, I used to be a television news producer, so I do have a bit of a broadcasting background. But starting on YouTube was a much different experience, and I had to learn a lot from scratch. And it's a very different world. And there's a lot that goes on in like the whole influencer sphere. I want to talk about why I like to purchase things on my own rather than like try to work with the companies, get sponsored, have things sent to me, because I don't think I'm doing it like the normal way, if that makes sense. I don't do hardly any types of sponsorships or brand collaborations. And the reason I personally don't, again, everyone can make their own decisions. And I don't judge anybody else who does content and does a lot of sponsorships. I think it really depends on the type of content you're making. But because I do a lot of, this is called the sewing report. So I'm reporting on a lot of companies, products, and doing reviews. I just feel like it's easier for me to be free to say what I want to say about everything and anything if I don't have a lot of like strings attached, if that makes sense. Now, I did reach out to Brother. We had kind of DM'd because I asked some questions about this product, and I was like, hey, I would like to purchase this, but is there any way I could get it from you directly just so I can get it fairly early? Because I first heard about this product on like October 1st or something. and it was coming out. It officially, I think, was launched on October 23rd, and I didn't end up getting mine until Halloween night. So I immediately got it out and started using it. And I purchased this on my own. It was fairly expensive, and it's something that I really have to put a lot of thought into what I'm going to buy and what's the benefit to my audience, to you, the viewers. And also, the other thing I have to keep in mind is, will I be able to recoup my costs of purchasing this, all of the supplies I use on the channel, and is there a kind of a wide enough interest that people will watch videos about this product? I think about how many videos I could potentially make with the product, and when I saw this, I was like, the reason I decided to go for it was because it was very different looking. It had features that I don't have experience with, like the magnetic hoop and the free arm. I've never used a machine that was solely controlled by an app before. The Brother PE900 I have does have Artspira connectivity, but it's optional and it's not a requirement like this machine. And I just thought people would be curious about it, and I was immediately curious about it. Now, if I did not have a YouTube channel and work as a content creator, would I still purchase this machine to try out? And my answer would be like maybe, honestly, maybe, because I was really curious about some of the features. But because I do have a YouTube channel featuring sewing and embroidery products a lot, it was kind of an easy decision. This was expensive, but it was not like anything over, I would say, $1,000. I probably wouldn't really do. The most expensive item I have bought and featured here is actually purchased for the channel is actually the Brother PE900. That one was definitely over $1,000, but this one was less than half the price of that, and I thought it was worth a shot. It was new. Like, if I see a product that's new, I'm more likely to get it because there won't be a lot of other videos about the product. So it's one of those things where if you think a product would have a lot of interest and it's new, and you can be one of the kind of early people to the scene to make content with a product, then it's pretty easy to invest in it for the channel and to make content with it. So that's kind of the decision-making process behind buying things for a YouTube channel. So for a lot of you that are like, oh my gosh, you just wasted your money, take it back, get your money back, there's value in me purchasing it and showing you what it's like to use it. A lot of you are probably researching this machine, and that's why you're here, and there is value in having people do videos about the machine, doing honest assessments of it and real life tests, like scenarios. So there's definitely value in me keeping this and not returning it. I do want to give it a fair shake. And in fact, I've kind of worked through some of my issues with it. Like when I used the thread stand, it was kind of a night and day difference. And I also want to see if Brother does improve the Artspira app. If they make a ton of improvements to it and actually make it a good product, or make it free or lower the cost, I would have a definite change of opinion from where I am now, for sure. Another thing to consider is that I have this YouTube channel and my associated activities set up as a business. So it's done for tax and legal reasons, but when I purchase things and I'm going to use them for the channel, like this product here, I can consider it a business expense, and that's something, that helps kind of reduce my tax liability. So there's a lot of things that I will do differently as a content creator than if I were just like your normal consumer. So I just wanted to talk about that a lot because I think a lot of people just don't know that. I've had this for a little over a week. I put out 3 videos about it, and I can say just from YouTube ad revenue alone, I have made back about half of the cost of this machine. And that's kind of what I'm looking for is, I think, can I recoup the cost of purchasing this and the supplies? And over a long period of time, I usually can. Not everything works out like that. Sometimes you take some losses too, but it kind of all evens out. Plus, this is a business expense for me, so that kind of, again, reduces how much taxes I have to pay from my business revenue. For instance, I'll kind of use this analogy. Say for 2023, I brought in a total of $50,000 in gross revenue from everything I'm doing, from YouTube ad revenue, affiliate sales, from the Etsy shop, all kinds of stuff. Say I bring in $50,000. That's a hypothetical number. That's not my real number. But say I bring in $50,000 and my business expenses are about $15,000. From equipment I have to buy, from purchases like this. I have some business related subscriptions, believe it or not. I'm not a fan of the subscription model, but there are some that are like a necessary evil. So say my expenses are $15,000. That would actually put my taxable revenue at $35,000 instead of $50,000. So I just wanted to share that sort of behind the scenes stuff with you. Like, don't feel bad for me. Don't be like, I can't believe she just wasted all that money on this Brother Skitch machine, because like, again, this is something I use for content. Like, while I do use it, for different projects, this is for this YouTube channel. So there are other things like I'm considering purchasing. I know I'm actually considering purchasing the Ditto pattern projector now that they've dropped the price by 50%. And I'm trying to gauge like whether that would be a worthwhile investment for the channel. And I'm still deciding on it. Plus, I don't make a lot of clothes, but I do think it would be kind of interesting to try and to do some videos with. So, like I've made videos with most of I have some sewing machines that you guys don't even know about, to be honest with you. But I've made a lot of videos with the Brother PE800, the Brother PE900, the Brother CS7000i, which I just found out is discontinued, RIP. I don't know why they discontinued that, but hey, it is what it is. And that's another thing, like I'm not like a Brother hater at all. And I'm trying to be fair, but I'm also trying to be honest. I like Brother products overall. I have purchased 6 Brother sewing and embroidery machines total, 6. So clearly I'm a fan of the brand overall. I just think this particular product and the Artspira app has some issues that I think could be addressed. And that's one of the reasons why I'm actually really glad I did purchase this, is so that I could be able to have firsthand experience with these products and be able to talk about them honestly. So I don't regret purchasing this Brother Skitch machine at all. Now, if I had just purchased this on my own and I didn't have like a YouTube channel or anything, would I want to return this? I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. I just want you to have all of the information to equip you to be an informed consumer, so you're not in the dark and you're not wondering if this is good or if it's crap. That's kind of why I'm here, and that's why I wanted to talk about this today, is to just share some of that with you so you have a better understanding of my purchasing decisions and finances of a YouTube channel dedicated to sewing. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. I will be doing some other videos. I've been testing out some materials and samples, and I want to do a separate video with sort of my results from these different sample stitches. I shot a ton of footage of doing sample stitch outs on different materials, different designs. I did run into some problems. I'm not gonna lie, ran into some problems, but I did learn a lot through the process. I'm just trying to figure out how to best organize all of the footage and present it in the best way. So those videos will be coming. They just take a really long time to edit. What do you think about the Brother Artspira app and the Brother Skitch from what you've seen? Let me know. If you made it to the end of this very long video, thank you for sticking with me. Check out some of the other videos I've done about embroidery and embroidery machines. I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. See you again in the next video, and remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.